At 7:30?
Do you have to read the whole thing again, or you don't?
No, I don't have to read again. I just start from,
Woohoo.
we opened our meeting, we had a private session before this, so our meeting is already open, so we're just going to continue where we left off. So, Amy, would you like to lead us in the flag salute?
Certainly. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'm going to start the announcements from over here tonight. So on behalf of the entire board, I am pleased to welcome Westfield High School senior Jacob Tannenbaum and his family. Jake was awarded first place for his public service announcement in the Westfield Municipal Alliance Palooza contest. Now in its 7th year and open to all Westfield students in grades 1 to 12. Students were invited to submit a poster for grades 1 to 5, a poem for grades 6 to 8, or a public service announcement for grades 9 to 12 that represented the theme, Westfield, we have better things to do, healthy choices, everyday choices. The work of a few finalists from our district is displayed on the windowsills near Dr. Dolan, over here. And now we'd like to show you Jake's powerful PSA. So we're going to turn off the lights and play it up here on the screen. Truly was amazing. Thank you. The Westfield Municipal Alliance provides substance abuse prevention education in the Westfield community and sponsors the Westfield High School Dream Team, which promotes positive decision-making and healthy choices, while creating programs that provide alternatives to underage drinking and drug use. I'd like to invite Jake up to the podium to receive a certificate of recognition. And also, I'd like to invite up the Dream Team Advisor, Lauren Hauser, and our Municipal Alliance Coordinator, Louise Dedea. And Lauren, would you like to say a few words? Sure.
So thank you all for this wonderful recognition for Jacob. For the last 3 years, I've been lucky enough to be a part of the Dream Team here at the high school. It's been a very rewarding experience. We're actually leaving on Friday morning with about 18 of our high school students to Long Branch for a peer leadership conference that they'll be attending for 3 days. So that'll be another thing that our kids are bringing back to the town. We've been very lucky in past years to bring back speakers from this conference, and we look forward to seeing who's out there this year and bringing back speakers to the town for the future that can help our student body K through 12. Jacob, thank you for your submission, and I'm going to turn it over to Louise real quick. Thank you.
Just wanted to ask. So I'm going to say hello to a couple of new faces, and thank you so much for recognizing Jake and his work, and thank you to his parents. It's really, like, he did a great job. We will keep our eye out for other statewide programs that are going on, because this could really, like kind of go somewhere in a statewide program. And so we'll try to move that forward. It's hard for me to come to any meetings in this room without bringing something. So what I brought, and I'll leave with Marianne, or yeah, I can distribute or whatever works. I brought a sample of our finalists from last year's for our poster presentation, and also a copy of a sample of a bookmark that we made from our, this is our poetry, this is our poster, but I'll leave it for you guys so you can take a look. I also just brought a flyer which explains a little bit about what the Alliance does. We're essentially a volunteer organization, but I'll leave this with you for your reference. And it wouldn't really work without the support of the people at this table. So whether you know it or not, you support us. Dr. Dolan's been amazing. Some of the ladies in the front, who I've seen over many, many years, have just been wildly supportive of the efforts that we do. Sometimes I'm extremely tired because I fit this in at midnight usually. But I think that through the work of our students, we've been recognized at the state level for what our Dream Team does, which is really impressive because there are not a lot of municipalities that have what we have, which is such a strong student presence for this topic. And just yesterday, the students, about a dozen or so, and one alumni who comes back, who's a really amazing young man, they presented as an outreach to an 8th grade class at Holy Trinity. And it was just such wonderful feedback from their teacher, and she said, what an amazing group of kids, like what great role models. So we're hoping to kind of keep that momentum going. So we'd love to have more members, so feel free to join. We'll share the wealth. But really, thank you to Dr. Dolan and to Marianne, and really to the board, because without your support, we could never have gotten done the things that we've done in these years. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
very much.
Take a picture?
Come on up, Martha.
Sure. Just to take one, probably, and you could be in one if you like. Taking mostly, but, okay. What you do at home is up to you.
Thank you. And hold that spot.
There we go.
Who is the newest home?
That's right, yep.
All right, I'll take that one.
I think we need a selfie with mom and dad, no?
Yeah, I was thinking.
Come on.
Marianne will help
There,
you out.
Marianne.
Marianne
Yes.
is a
No,
really
well, I'm
good
gonna take a
photographer.
picture of you taking yourself.
Aw,
It is always a fun picture.
that's great.
Thank you.
Thank
you
very
very
much.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Yeah. Great jacket, too.
So just before you leave, I just wanted to thank Jacob. I mean, to see what you put together and a message coming out, you know, from you to your peers and so forth, it's, it really hits the spot. So thank you very much for doing that. And also to both Louise and Ms. Hauser. Louise has been doing this for a very long time, and she is dedicated and passionate, and I'm not sure we could ever replace her. So thank you. And Ms. Hauser, thank you so much for leading the Dream Team at the high school, because it really gives an opportunity for our students to be involved. So I thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
Thank
Thanks for
Thank
coming.
you.
Thank you. Other
Okay.
announcements first?
Other announcements?
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
Good night.
Good night, Louise.
Save the date for the Westfield Education Fund's Trivia Night on April 17th from 8 to 11 p.m. at the Italian American Club in Scotch Plains. There will be friendly competition, fun-filled trivia, and lots of laughs. Tickets will be available in March. There is limited capacity. Stay tuned for more information.
I have two announcements. The Lady Blue Devil basketball team recently recorded its 600th win in program history, in the program history of women's basketball at Westfield High School. Congratulations to all players and coach Liz McKeon. And congratulations to coach Glenn Kurz, who is head varsity wrestling coach, recently broke the record for the most wins in wrestling program history, passing the previous record of 239 wins held by the legendary coach Gary Kaler.
Great. Brian?
I have 4 announcements. This is a reminder that the Westfield High School Choir Department will perform a Night of Love Songs this Saturday, February 8th at 7 p.m. Doors open at 6:30 p.m. in Cafeteria B at Westfield High School. Tickets will be sold at the door at $5 per student and $10 per adult. The event is sponsored by the Westfield Choral Parents Association, with proceeds going towards choral performance opportunities for the students. 5 Westfield High School student musicians have been accepted to the New Jersey Music Educators Association All-State Band. Senior Max Tennant, trumpet, juniors Alex Cha, clarinet, and Aprina Wang, French horn, and sophomores Connor Daly, trombone, and Patrick Gallagher, tuba, will travel to Atlantic City to rehearse with the All-State Band before performing on February 22nd at the New Jersey Performing Arts Center in Newark. Congratulations to all. The Westfield High School Model United Nations Club won the Outstanding Delegation Award, the annual conference of the YMCA Model UN program held in Hershey, Pennsylvania earlier this month. Westfield's delegation of 175 students were among approximately 2,000 students from the Mid-Atlantic region who attended the conference. They participated in wide-ranging debates that were the culmination of months of research and preparation. A number of Westfield High School students received individual recognitions as well. Congratulations to all of the delegates and to their advisors, Daniel Faribaugh and David Delafera. This is a reminder that the Westfield Public School District is conducting kindergarten and first grade registration this month. The registration schedule and forms are posted on the district website at www.westfieldnjk12.org under student registration. Thank you for your help in spreading the word.
Because you're so good at it.
Got that radio voice.
That's right.
And now for the traffic. Don't miss the Rotary Club of Westfield's 54th Annual Breakfast with the Bands on Saturday, February 29th from 8 a.m. till 12 noon at Westfield High School. This popular event features performances from top bands from Westfield High School and Edison and Roosevelt Intermediate Schools, along with lots of great food. Tickets are $10 and available from Rotarians or at the door. All proceeds benefit the Rotary Club's scholarship, community grants programs, and Project Hunger. Secondly, all parents are invited to attend Making the Most of Your Summers on Thursday, February 27th at 7 p.m. in Cafeteria B at Westfield High School. Lisa Blake from College Bound Mentor will discuss various summer options and present case studies to demonstrate different ways that students have productively used their summers. This event is free and is sponsored by the PTC Gifted Education Committee. No pre-registration is required. Thank you.
Thanks. Gretchen.
So I have 2 as well. 14 student musicians from Edison and Roosevelt Intermediate Schools will perform with the Central Jersey Intermediate Region Band and Orchestra in March, following rigorous auditions involving more than 750 students from Central New Jersey. So qualifying for the Region 2 band, Nolan Daly, Andrew Gold, Charlie Hugh, Liliana Lincoln, Sarah Lincoln, Oliver Schifando, and Chloe Yu. Region 2 Orchestra, Yen Jae Hu, Eddie Mendel, Claire Quinn, Rishi Shroff, Victor Tang, Stephanie Wang, and Madeline Young. The Westfield Public School District was well represented at Texpo, an educational technology training conference in its 25th year, which is sponsored by the New Jersey Association of School Administrators. Several members of our staff were invited to share their knowledge and experience, and we want to extend our congratulations to our IT team of Brian Ocker, Arvin Vidal, and Joseph Mariteo, and to our master technology teacher, Janine Gacco, for their well-attended and informative presentations.
Great, thank you. Amy.
Yep. Next up in the Edison Intermediate School Speakers Series, Help, There's a Teen in the House, Navigating and Understanding the Stressful World of Teenagers. This panel discussion and Q&A session with mental health clinicians will be held on February 11th at 7 p.m. in the Edison Auditorium. Admission is free. Space is limited. Registration information can be found under Recent News on the district website at www.westfieldnjk12.org. And Westfield Public Schools will be closed on Friday, February 14th for a staff in-service day, and on Monday, February 17th in observance of President's Day.
Thank you. And I'd just like to remind everybody our next meeting for the Westfield Board of Education will be held on Tuesday, February 25th at 7:30 PM right here at 302 Elm Street. The complete agenda will be available on Friday, February 21st on the board section of the district website. Did you have any?
I do not.
So at this time, I'd like to recognize the public for any agenda items only. Any agenda items only. Okay, seeing nobody come forth to the podium, I'd like the board to approve the minutes of the board meeting held on January 21st, 2020. I don't know, I have problems with that. And private minutes of January 21st, 2020.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed?
I have to abstain, Dana.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, personnel. Also, I'd like the board to consider agenda items 1 through 18. Do I have a second?
Second.
Kent? Any questions? Nope. Dr. Dolan, I think you have a couple people you'd like to speak about?
I do, because tonight I'm announcing with regret the retirements of 4 employees who have given 75 years of service to Westfield students. For the last 18 years, Dr. Joseph Harris has been a valued substitute in our secondary schools. With a doctorate in microbiology, Joe has been particularly helpful at the high school in the science department. Donna Streeman is retiring as a paraprofessional substitute, but before that, she was a paraprofessional at Washington, Tamaulipas, and Westfield High School for over 10 years. Donna is patient and responsive to the needs of her students and has taken pride in helping them move towards greater independence. Robin Ince has been an integral part of Franklin School, having served as their school nurse since 2001. Robin regards each of her Franklin students as her own and addresses each child's needs with calm, personalized care to make the child feel comfortable and safe. Her warm, generous, positive outlook makes her a trusted resource for parents who appreciate her advice and support. She has been a strong advocate for health education and a leader among the district's nurses. And tonight I am thanking Eileen Cambria for both her careers in Westfield as she announced her retirement effective June 30th. From 1989 to 2001, Eileen was a wonderful teacher at Franklin School and a leader among her peers in promoting strong instruction and literacy. Eileen left to begin her work as an administrator in Liberty Corner and then returned in 2007 to her favorite school to lead Franklin as the building principal, where her commitment to learning has been contagious. She has been at the forefront of incorporating character education into the elementary curriculum and has led the Franklin staff in meaningful work on social and emotional learning. She established the Franklin Faculty Book Club, where the staff enjoys exploring authors' ideas on relevant educational topics. Eileen is gracious and is a resource for parents. She's also an enthusiastic supporter of every one of her students. Her strength and leadership will be missed not only at Franklin, but throughout our district. And we certainly wish all 4 staff members a happy and productive retirement.
Thank you. And I wish them a happy retirement and thank them for all that they've given the district over the years. Dana?
Kent Diamond,
Yes.
Brendan Gallagher,
Yes.
Brian Morrissey,
Yes.
Gretchen Olick,
Yes.
Tara Porto,
Yes.
Peggy Astor,
Yes.
Amy Root.
Yes.
Okay. Moving on to facilities. Michael is not here. Dana, do you have any updates on facilities?
So we have a meeting on Friday. Topic is mainly to talk about projects coming up next summer. The big project that we have scheduled right now is the door project at the elementary school. So that's what we're talking about, and we're still finishing up the TV studio and the intermediate and high school doors. They're coming along, but they're coming along slowly.
So we'll probably have a report at our next meeting as facilities is meeting on Friday. Gretchen, do you have anything for long-range planning?
I don't. I've been a very delinquent chairperson, having only just learned that I'm the new chair of long-range planning. So I will reach out to Dr. Dolan. I suspect there are things for us to talk about, so hopefully we'll get something on the calendar soon.
Okay, and if you thought you were going to get fired for that, we'll just give you another committee.
Bring it on.
Policies, Brendan.
Yes, I ask the board to approve policy item number 1.
Second.
Thank you, Kent. This is to approve for first reading 3 new state mandated policies. 5330.4, administering opiate antidotes. 5756, transgender pupils. 7441, electronic surveillance in school buildings. These are all state mandated policies that are laws that have been passed over the last year that finally guidance is coming out as to how we implement them in the schools. There's not a lot of wiggle room with any of these policies. They're very clear with what we have to do. And we aren't going above or below what the state requirements are for any of them. Opioid, antidote, Narcan. The school nurses will be trained in how to train other teachers to administer it to students if it were ever needed. That's really the only change there. Most of our teachers have some kind of first aid training to begin with, so this is just a step above that. Am I missing anything with those?
I don't think so unless there are questions.
Yeah. Any questions?
No.
Dana?
Diamond,
Yes.
Brendan Galligan,
Yes.
Brian Morrissey,
Yes.
Gretchen Oleg,
Yes.
Tara Porto,
Yes.
Peggy Astor,
Yes.
Amy Root.
Yes.
And I ask the board to approve policy item number 2.
Second.
Thank you, Ken. Second reading for the policies listed. Dana?
Kent Diamond,
Yes.
Brendan Galligan,
Yes.
Brian Morrissey,
Yes.
Gretchen Oleg,
Yes.
Tara Porto,
Yes.
Peggy Astor,
Yes.
Amy Root.
Yes.
And that is it. Our next policy meeting is February 18th.
Okay, thank you. Amy, curriculum.
Yes, I would like the board to consider curriculum items 1 through 3. Can I have a second? Thanks.
Second.
All right. We had our curriculum meeting last week. I'm afraid I was delinquent in getting my notes out. So item number 1, district field trips and overnight field trips is attached. There was one that we talked about that we'll continue to talk about next month. So the ones that are, that were listed on the full agenda are ones that we've done previously. And then we're approving for first reading revision of 6th and 7th grade band and 8th grade band. A little bit different because 6th and 7th grade music is required. And 8th grade band is kind of a slightly different level since kids choose to stay in the program. So it was really good hearing from those teachers at our meeting. That was really enjoyable. And we also heard from, then the other item is a new course in the Practical Arts Department at the high school, a course on sustainable design. It's kind of an outgrowth of a class that's in its second year now at the high school, which is an engineering and design class that is an elective for students in 10th, 11th, or 12th grades. It's a year-long class. And the current class is very project-based, very hands-on. But Laura Doyle, who is the teacher of that class, felt that she really wanted to give kids another opportunity and decided to develop a class on sustainable design and green design, and is implementing a lot more CAD work, computer-assisted design, which is the kids are really enjoying and is really helpful for some, for sparking an interest in kids who might be interested in architecture or engineering going forward. So those classes were great. Yeah, that was really nice to hear about it, and she worked diligently to get that together. And then item number 3 is another voluntary intern candidate for next year.
Just a quick question. How many sections are there of the first engineering, the original class?
The first one, there are 2 sections. Right, and she didn't want to make that a requirement for a second class on sustainable design, so that you could take them in either order. You could take both if you're really into it, if you have that flexibility in your schedule, but she wanted kids to have that option. Yeah.
The South Dakota field trip is not off the agenda, it's just something we're gonna talk more about? and
Yep,
it'll-
we're going to talk some more about it.
Okay.
And, yeah. And our next meeting, it's a good segue, our next meeting is February 20th. Okay.
That's plenty of time. What is it, a 6-week approval
That's-
for that particular trip? It's not one of those ones that requires months and months, right?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
We'll have time.
All
Mhm.
right.
Yeah, that's true. Isn't it June?
Yep. Okay. Dana?
Kent Diamond,
Yes.
Brendan Galligan,
Yes.
Brian Morrissey,
Yes.
Gretchen Oleg,
Yes.
Tara Porto,
Yes.
Peggy Astor,
Yes.
Amy Root.
Yes.
Thank you, Amy. Kent, do you have anything on
Okay.
finance?
I ask the board to approve items 1 through 9. May I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. I want to note some generosity. Items 6, 7, 8, and 9. We're accepting gifts, thankfully, from the Westfield Coalition for the Arts to be used for $962.50 to purchase stage drapery curtains for Roosevelt Intermediate School auditorium, $4,100 for Westfield High School clinician fees and Edison clinician fees, and $5,944 for a participation fee for the Westfield High School concert choir's rehearsal and performances at the Alice Tully Hall in New York City. We'd also like to show our appreciation for a gift of $962.50 from the Roosevelt Intermediate School Fund for the purchase of a stage drapery curtain for the Roosevelt Intermediate School auditorium. Next, we'd like to accept a gift of $5,000 raised by the parents and student athletes of the boys volleyball program to help fund a new athletic program. Thank you to them. And lastly, accept a gift of $9,830 from an anonymous donor to purchase 30 HP Chromebooks and a charging cart for Franklin School. Thank you to them as well.
So I assume the new athletic program is boys volleyball, right? Is that what the $5,000 is for?
I assume.
I believe it's year 3.
Because it's not new, it's
No.
just, it's not yet within the athletic
The
budget,
budget,
is
right.
that right?
I think it's the way it's spelled out for, as per the policy.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Kent Diamond,
Yes.
Brendan Galligan,
Yes.
Brian Morrissey,
Yes.
Gretchen Oleg,
Yes.
Tara Porto,
Yes.
Peggy Asser,
Yes.
Amy Root.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Kent. Next is technology, and Rob is not here this evening. He didn't mention that he had any report, but the next meeting for technology will be held on Friday, February 21st. So we'll probably hear a report from them at our next meeting on the 25th. I'd like the board to consider the notes for the record.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have any unfinished business? Nope. Any new business? Any liaison reports?
I do. I'm on the library board now,
Okay.
and I wanted to announce about the survey, which I think everybody has probably seen at least once, but if anybody can help drive participation in taking that survey, that would be very helpful. For the library, there's also going to be a spring book sale, April 20th to May 2nd, from Friends of the Library. And if anyone is looking for volunteer opportunities, they can also go to the Westfield Memorial website and learn more about that with the Friends of the Library as well.
Great. Anyone else?
No.
I attended the Recreation Commission meeting last evening, and they are continuing to discuss their master plan for parks and within the town. They have presented their master parks plan to the town council, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be voted on by the town council at their next meeting on February 11th. We are an integral part of their master parks plan, so we will be continuing to have talks with the town about potentially using some of our fields to turf and so forth, and see if we can work in cooperation with them to, provide more fields and so forth to the kids in the town. So it's still in its infancy. There's a lot of discussions to be had. There's a lot of money to be found and a lot of strategic planning to be done on their part. So, I would listen to the town council meeting on February 11th to hear what the, council members and the mayor have to say. And, if they decide to go forward, I think that's when we really have to get involved to talk about our own fields and what we want to do and how we can work with them and so forth.
So if they vote yes on February 11th, what does that mean for our fields?
It doesn't really mean anything because they haven't asked us, they haven't really asked us if they could have the fields or, so it just means that that's their plan. So they're gonna move forward to do whatever they need to do to implement that plan. And if it works, great. If it doesn't, there's a lot of different parts of it. I know one big part that they discussed on Monday was up at Brightwood Park. That is underutilized, and they want to put bike paths up there and so forth. And there was a lot of support from kids and parents and teachers about improving the bike paths up there and so forth. So there's a lot of different parts. They have to find the money. There's a lot of stuff they have to do, but this is how they're going to start their plan and go forward with it. So. Okay. I'd like to recognize the public for questions or comments. Anybody? If you come to the podium, you have to state your name and your address.
Oh, sorry, right up here.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Dan Eckert, 905 North Avenue West, Westfield. You mentioned several policies. One of them had to do with transgenders.
Yes.
Can you go into detail as to what that policy involves?
Actually, I'll turn it over to Dr. Dolan for specifics.
Sure. The state had passed laws that explain when a student comes to their parents, comes to school, and determines that they are either going to transition or that they are transgender, whatever the process is. The state outlined what is required for the school to do. To tell you the truth, the state, this is a state law, and the Department of Education has passed the procedures, and we're following it. But to tell you the truth, it's not a new concept. It's having students who are transgender. We've never had large numbers, but we've always had students. It's not a new thing whatsoever. And what you do is you, just as no child is the same, no child who is transgender is the same. So the schools work with the child and with the parents as well. And we've done that successfully for many years. And that's what we'll continue to do.
Okay, I don't think that answers my question. Specifically, what does the policy involve?
Well,
It's in the public agenda.
Well, which is this month, so this week, so. It's online? I mean,
It's
yeah.
not, we don't have the full thing out there.
No, we
Oh,
don't.
so it's online.
But
No.
yes, you can access it online. The full policy is there for anyone to read.
It's about 8 pages long. so-
Right, so it's not as though I can summarize the 8 pages of it.
Okay, so specifically what was voted on today? You said it's a state law. and that
So
there's
the
no
state-
wiggle room, so what is the board of?
So the
board
state
voting on?
passes a law, about 1,000 of them a year that deal with education. And in the law, there's always a statement that says, and the local board of education shall craft policy to implement this law. So we subscribe to a service through the state that helps us craft the language to be in compliance with the law. We use those services, we have 2 of them, compare the language, and then pick a policy, one of the 2 versions that works best for Westfield. And then we tweak it where it's appropriate for Westfield, and then we,
Okay, so specifically, how do you plan on implementing the policy? Could you just give me a brief summary? I'm not familiar
So
with the
it starts with the counselor or the administrator in the school talks to the student. The state law says that you don't have to have that the school does not have to notify the parent. I'll have to tell you, Westfield's experience has been, in every case, we have worked with both the student and the parents. In any case we've worked together with students and parents. But the state law says you don't have to include the parent. That's the state law. And then you work with the student to determine what is the best course for working with the student as they either transition or as they determine that they are transgender. And the answer is not the same for any child. That's been our experience. It depends on the child. The state does have many specific laws, et cetera. It has definitions, but it is 8 pages, so I'm not going to be able to explain all that to you.
Does the implementation that you voted on, does that take into account the effects that this might have on students that are not transgender?
Sure, so our experience has been that has not been a problem. Again, this is not a new topic. It's not new because there's a law. This is a topic that has been around for decades, at least. I can't speak to before decades, honestly. It could be for much longer than that. But it's not a new topic to schools, and it has not, our experience has not been that has negatively impacted any other students.
Thank you.
Different topic, is that okay?
Yeah.
Please.
absolutely.
Mhm.
Hi, my name is Shannon Llewellyn-Jones, and I'm in the Wilson School District, actually in Roosevelt too, 21 Hawthorne Drive. And I'm here, sorry I came late, I actually was driving soccer carpool, but I came perfectly, the right amount of time to talk about what I came to talk about today. Is as a parent of 3 soccer players, I've got a 1st grader, a 4th grader, and a 7th grader. We have an active community of kids, and we have so many sports. I mean, there's soccer, there's flag football, there's lacrosse, there's just a million sports, and we just don't have the field space in our town. So I've been very encouraged to hear that you're very open to working with the town, because I know, towns sometimes have plans and schools sometimes have plans, and they don't always mix. But as a parent who drives my 7-year-old 25 minutes to a different town at 8 o'clock on a Saturday morning because we physically can't fit a kid in our town, when we live in a super affluent town where we pay tons and tons of tax money. And I'd just like to say, I'd like to have the community work together to solve this problem, and maybe solve it before all of my kids are in college, Like, I think my 7th grader, it's probably too late, but maybe my 1st grader will benefit if we can, work together quickly, and that's my request.
Okay.
And hopefully I speak for lots and lots of parents. I think I'm the only one here tonight, but I think there's lots of us out there.
I'm sure.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay, anyone else? So at this time, we are going to move upstairs for a workshop with our school board's training group, and you're welcome to join us, or
Yeah, that part is open to the public.
it's open to the public, yes.
Right. Shifting locations.
We're shifting locations, but we're all going to be talking about responsibility of board members, so, hey, if you.